Welcome to Congregation Beth Aaron's 30th Annual Dinner, honoring Cal and Eliza Stamen and service awardees Phil and Shelley Stein.
In addition to the Stamens and the Steins, so many have contributed so much in so many different capacities over this time to make our shul what it is today.
A thriving and vibrant center of Torah and Tefillah. Since our founding in 1972, our shul has been served by 5 rabbis.
And those 5 rabbis have been served by 20 presidents, dedicated souls who love our shul deeply and serve her with great dedication.
To the presidents.
Thank you, Livia and Zena. As your current president, I'd like to say that I am just one in a link of 20 who have faithfully and conscientiously served the Beth Aaron community over the years. I must add that it has been my distinct pleasure to serve the shul, its members, and to work together with our wonderful rabbi.
Thank you, Kalman. The feeling is definitely mutual. It would be impossible for a rabbi to function without the partnership of a strong president. A president provides guidance and support, thereby enabling the rabbi to carry out his vision and bring it to fruition. In my case, I have been blessed with 2 presidents that have been not only close professional working partners, but 2 people who I can honestly say have become true friends. And so to all of our presidents, from Mitchell Rudick in 1972, and to Kalman Seidenfeld in 2006, and to all those who will fill this vital role in the future, Yasher Kochachem. No one stands up for Congregation Beth Aaron like its presidents. No one fights for Congregation Beth Aaron like its presidents. Go Fighting Jewish!
Ivy Brown, University of Manchester in England, President 1976 to 1977.
Henry Holland, University of Massachusetts, Shul President, 1977 to 1979.
Sam Vogel, Yeshiva University, Shul President, 1979 to 81.
Josh Adler, City University of New York, Shul President, 1981-82.
Mark Karasik, Yeshiva University, Shul President, 1982 to 84.
Mark Siegel, University of Virginia, Shul President, 1984 to 86.
Richard Gertler, Rutgers University, Shul President, 1987 to 89.
David Shapiro, Touro College, Shul President, 1989 to 91.
Jack Wimsheimer, Temple University, President of Beth Aaron, 1991 to 1993.
Alden Leifer, Yeshiva University, Shul President, 1993 to 95.
Zvi Weissler, Harvard University, Shul President, 95 to 97.
Alan Friedman, Columbia University, Shul President, 1997 to 99.
Michelle Bogan, Brooklyn College, Shul President, 1999 to 2001.
Arthur Hertzfeld, Yeshiva University, Shul President, 2001-2002.
Paul Lustiger, Temple University, Shul President, 2002 to 2004.
Kalman Seidenfeld, Baruch College, Shul President, 2004 to present.
We're going to celebrate now the 30th anniversary of our journal dinner. And that brings me recollections. What happened 30 years ago? Well, 30 years ago, we did not have any journal dinner. And I came to the board and I suggested, let's have a journal dinner just like any big organization. And they said, nah, Henry, it's impossible. It will never be successful. You're crazy. And even composed a song about me that I have a hole in the head. Well, in spite of that, the dinner was done and was a big success.
We started Beth Aaron in 1972 with 6 families.
In the old shul, there was a corner, a library corner, where many of the talkers used to sit. One Shabbos morning I came in early and I had the idea that I would remove all of those seats. And sure enough, they came in, they had no place to sit, and they had to disperse throughout the entire shul. It was very quiet that morning.
On the third day of my presidency, Rabbi Stanley Fass announced that he was leaving the shul and making aliyah.
Mazel tov to Rabbi Stanley and Molly Fish on the bat mitzvah of their daughter, Mindy.
Mazel tov goes to Barbara and Cal Feinberg on the birth of a daughter.
Mazel tov to Sheila and Danny Bear on the birth of a girl.
We wish a mazel tov to Amy and Steve Kajdan on the birth of a boy.
Mazel tov to Barbara and Steve Sussman on the bar mitzvah of their son Chaim.
Mazel tov to Steve and Kathy Schuss on the bat mitzvah of their daughter Michal.
Mazel tov to Itch and Marilyn Zidell on the bar mitzvah of their son Dudi.
Mazel tov to Steve and Judy Gellerstein on the birth of a boy.
Mazel tov to Sam and Marcia Kaplan, and to Mel and Harriet Saltzman upon the marriage of their children, Aryeh and Sharon.
Mazel tov to Moshe and Chaya Full on the bas mitzvah of their daughter Michal.
In the early 1980s, we have very few Sifrei Torah, maybe one or two. And we decided to acquire more. I volunteered to be the chairman of the committee. And it was, I guess it was during Hanukkah, because a nes happened, and instead of one or two, we got about 8.
My greatest accomplishments, I think there are 2. The first is the activation of the building committee, which came up with the plans for the ultimate construction of the shul that we currently find ourselves in. And the second is the appointment of the Rabbinic Search Committee, which yielded the appointment of Rabbi Kannefogel as our rabbi.
It was during my presidency that the original Litwin house, which stood on this spot, was knocked down, and the construction of this beautiful building, which we use today, was begun.
Among the first things I accomplished as president was to put up clocks, put mailboxes in the office, put up bulletin boards, and hire a secretary.
The recollection of after Simchas Torah, the shul coming together actually to throw the old chairs over the mechitza so we can make room for the carpet guys and the kibbutzniks from Lavi to come in and put the seating in.
I'm very proud of the fact that the multi-sponsored Kiddush was instituted during my presidency, and one of my fondest memories is the first bite of cholent during that first multi-sponsored Kiddush.
It's been a blast being the first lady of the show, but in truth, sometimes there have been inconveniences. Some minor, some not so minor.
Wait. Hello? What? Hold on. Coleman.
Huh?
Carl.
Huh?
Coleman, somebody's on the phone. They want to know what year was the first shul dinner.
Huh?
Someone wants to know what year was the first shul dinner.
1977.
1977. Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
In the pre-secretary and pre-printed announcement era, somebody came to me on Shabbos morning to tell me that a member had lost a father. When I announced it, everyone yelled out at me, it wasn't his father, it was his mother.
In my day, we didn't have written announcements. We had to rely on our memory on Shabbos to make the appropriate announcements. I'll never forget the Shabbos when everybody I wished Mazel Tov to, all 3 couples, ended up to have the woman had the first name of Harriet. Only one of them was real, Harriet Saltzman, but the other 2 somehow I named Harriet as well.
On the very first day of my presidency, Shavuos 1995, I received 3 complaints. First, the entire shul was locked out of the 845 million. Second, parents of young children were irate that there were no youth groups that day. And thirdly, the upstairs sanctuary was so hot that one of our members actually turned down the thermostat on the grounds of Pikuach Nefesh.
The great poison lulav scare of October 17th, 1997, which got us on the front page of the Bergen Record.
One of the low points of my presidency was the first year we were davening Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur in the high school cafeteria because of construction in the auditorium there. And I was assured the air conditioning would be working. Of course, it turned out to be 80 degrees on that Rosh Hashanah, and people were dropping like flies. And I made an executive decision that Yom Kippur, when indeed the air conditioning was still not working, not to make the Yom Kippur appeal, because I thought they would lynch me if I did.
After almost 2 years into my presidency, and 6 years of serving on the board in various other positions, and 10 years after being a member of the shul, I was embarrassed to just find out that Ira and Mark Bauman were brothers.
Serving as president of Congregation Beth Aaron is a very pressure-filled undertaking, which might explain why our term is only half of that of the President of the United States. In order to cope, each of us have come up with our own ways to be able to handle the pressure.
ריבונו של עולם, ריבונו של עולם.
One of the board meetings, one of the members put up a motion that indeed no women, that is no married women, will be allowed to the sanctuary unless she was wearing a shaitel. Needless to say, that motion was overwhelmingly defeated.
Many years ago, the Rosses became parents of a new baby girl on or about July 4th. When I announced the birth, I said I thought that they were going to name her Betsy.
I was once standing in this spot making an announcement, and I sensed that Sam Franco was behind me trying to find something in the Aron Kodesh. And I said, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain."
I can never forget when I was president, one of the Halloweens, one of our vigilant shul members was guarding the shul that evening, and he brought along two friends to help him, Smith and Wesson. Needless to say, I was up very late that night at the police station trying to keep him out of jail.
One late Saturday night, our custodian Hector accidentally tripped the alarm. Suddenly, 10 teenage policemen came running in through these windows. They found this panicky Hispanic guy who couldn't tell them what was going on. It took me quite a while to convince them not to arrest him.
In all honesty, being president of Congregation Beth Aaron is really very prestigious. In fact, it tends to go to the head of the president and inflates his ego. Sometimes he totally forgets the difference between reality and fantasy and thinks he's the president of the United States sitting in the Oval Office.
I am certain that Saddam Hussein is hiding nuclear weapons.
I am not a crook.
I have lust in my heart.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
I did not play sax with that woman.
Mincha this afternoon is at 6:15.
Mincha today is at 6:20.
6:30.
6:35.
6:45. 6:50.
6:55.
7 p.m.
7:05.
7:10.
7:15.
7:20. 7:25.
Who will carry the Beth Aaron presidential torch into the future? Who will lead us to new heights in the years to come?
It could be you. So now let's all please rise and pay kavod to our wonderful presidents, past and present.